We're back, people.
About this up?
Send a number in the group. The
Took up
Primal.
Okay. Join me to see the Facebook Live start. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Primal Sports Center. I'm your host, Dale.
And I'm Kane, the Schwab Watson, and we
Yeah.
are back.
Yes, after a 1 week break.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
necessarily didn't want to take a break, but due to circumstances, we were off the island and had Wi-Fi trouble. But I mean, we're back.
Wi-Fi trouble.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
What more than that?
Well, more than Wi-Fi trouble. We're in Cuba, and in Cuba, it's kind of tough.
Yes,
yeah, but
yes, a different culture, no doubt.
Yeah.
So we had some difficulties there, but we're here today again. Brand new show. We were supposed to have the Caribbean champion Oge Campos from Cuba. Unfortunately, he's currently in a match right now, so we're still hoping to have him on sometime later on in the show. So let's keep our fingers
he
crossed.
plays league in Italy. So there's
Yes.
professional table tennis leagues over the world, mostly in Europe, and you have players there in the Caribbean applying their trade and representing the Caribbean flag high. He's a top-ranked player,
Yes.
not only in the Caribbean, in the Latin America. He's qualified for Olympics twice, and I mean, as I said, he's playing in Italy and
Yeah.
doing big things over there. But unfortunately, he's in a match now. Hopefully, he has time to join us. If not this week, but sometime later on. The show is every week. So, but
Maybe next week, if not today. But just to touch on that point, though, Kane, what I think though, most of the countries as they finish, they gone to some other tournament. It's an important thing that we're going to touch on that a little bit later in the show still. But today's lineup will have, we're going to have the controversial boss already, Peter Muyang, with his take at the half an hour mark.
yeah, I don't know what he's coming up with this week because he didn't have a commentary last week, so it's double trouble this week.
Aye.
I mean, double the controversy. Let's see what he has in store for us. Sometime during the show, we'll have the team manager hopefully on for the Caribbean table tennis team. Give us a roundup of the championships and the experience of the team and the performances on a whole, the Caribbean table tennis tournament that just concluded. Because, I mean, we're moving back out to the pandemic phase. It was tough. Me, myself, going there and competing alongside Peter, coach. I mean, it was tough, but we went out there, represented. Things didn't go
According to plan.
as desired, but yet still we got a lot of positives from the tournament.
Yes. Where you find a negative, you always find a positive. We know that's a given. So and you and young Salisha qualifying for the Pan Am Games in Santiago later in October. That is one of the highlights from our side of things. So it's a tournament that highlighted a lot of things that we knew, but sometimes it kind of refresh your mind. But we have a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into some table tennis a little bit further down in the show. But remember, guys, that right after commentary, the phone lines will be open, and the numbers to call is
1876 552 7406. Feel free to call in after the controversial boss takes his seat and gives us his take on any sporting topics. So after that sports commentary, feel free to call in. Remember, 1876 552 7406, and that's via WhatsApp only. We're also on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and kick things off.
Yes, let us just give a quick rundown, of the championship there in Cuba, table tennis.
Yeah.
We saw where Cuba dominated.
Cuba won not basically, but everything.
They won all gold medals. It was national anthem after anthem for the medal ceremony. Yeah, it was.
They did the job. That's what happens, and
Yes.
Cuba definitely has a strong program there. There are top athletes in a lot of sports in the Caribbean, and we see where they invest in their athletes, not so financially, but before that, they have a crop where you have to get good at your heart before you go abroad.
Yeah.
You don't see much Cubans on the circuit or playing outside of Cuba necessarily before, they reach a certain standard.
Yes. Yeah. So
Very high quality. Cubans are very high quality.
Yes, and you must be, when you have for me, when you have a system, the mentality, the whole governance of the country,
Yeah.
it's pretty much like China in a sense. Is a replica of the way they do things in China. They have when we spoke to a couple of them, they have been playing table tennis from Monday to Saturday, 8 days, 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
while we have in the English speaking, some of our kids are playing 8 hours per week
Even for the month.
or even for the month.
I
So
mean, at
and
high intensity level.
at high intensity level, and I would not just blame our association. I will blame our governance, the way we go about doing things in Jamaica. I think it's just backwards. When you look at Cuba, in terms of investment, not just a sports, even education. Everything is invested back into the people.
But as I said
And
earlier, where you see a positive, there's a negative. So there's pros and cons
yes,
to
yes,
looking at that
yes,
wheel.
yes.
But in terms of discipline and output, I should say
of course,
that it is definitely beneficial.
Yeah.
And as I said, the governance of how they put forward themselves, their athletes, the
Of
whole
course.
system of wanting to perform and
It's tailored for success.
yeah,
It's tailored for
preparation, the
success.
preparation phase,
Yeah.
I must say, they invest in the preparation.
Of
They
course,
prepare.
of course, without a doubt, and even when we go to Damrep and you go to Puerto Rico and these other countries, they're not paying millions of dollars to use a government facility as a national government body for a specific sport.
Yeah.
The
government
that is asking
Has
too much.
facilities put up because I've personally been to all these countries.
Yeah,
And more so, I see where the venture in all these sports, but specifically table tennis. I go there for table tennis. And the countries that you named earlier, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the system they have in place and the facilities they put up. And as you said, it is all not only governed by their local association, but by the sporting fraternity on a whole.
Yeah.
I've been to Dumrep and there's a big land where there are many arenas
boxing.
by the size of the indoor, and there are many of them on a big land.
Yeah.
And I mean, I went there for training some time ago, about 10 years ago, and I was doing physical training, running around on the grounds. And while running on the grounds, I see a baseball pit, I see an arena for volleyball, I see an arena for boxing, and everybody's not cooped up in one space. And in all these arenas, you have training going on, coaches there.
Yeah.
And as I said, that land is governed by the government per se,
Yeah.
not one association.
Exactly.
And that is where
That's where it's
you have an output of athletes to choose from, and the seriousness of building athletes, whereby
man.
in Jamaica, we can't even find a space to play. And if we do find a space to play, the charges that come with it,
the cost that comes with it.
and I mean, there's nothing put up in place for succession.
No, sir. And here's how we do it here. They're talking about you have to. I hear my good friend outside there complaining about the performance, and he's talking about you can't get any money until you perform. And I'm saying that's a backward. You don't. you have to invest first. If you in today's sports, today with the level of professionalism that you find around all across in top class countries, you absolutely cannot wait. You have to invest first before you can be rewarded with medals and money and whatever the case is. And it's sad. And you touch that point on costs.
Yeah.
The kids there don't pay the coaches to coach them.
No.
You understand? That's a very important part, because a lot of the talent, they don't come from wealthy, affluent families, A lot of the real and true talent is from inner cities and they can't afford to pay me $5,000-$10,000 an hour.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So at every step of the way, we're losing out with our mindset and the philosophy of the way we do things here. And I don't expect that. Well, we're having the people who have the negatives to say but they don't understand. They don't understand.
I kind of get used to them over a period of time. I mean, it's been like that from I was a junior coming up, and
Yeah.
you tend to try to distance yourself from certain negativity
Mm.
or use it to fuel your getting better in the sport. I mean, so the naysayers will be there, but on a whole, to make this thing better, we have to look at a model and try to copy it.
And
'Cause
please don't talk about table tennis alone.
No.
It affects all the sports.
All sports.
All
Because, I mean,
sports. Yeah.
there's no such thing as minor sports. I hate that term
Yeah.
saying minor sports.
It's
Every
all
sport
sports.
has its rightful place in any arena,
Of
in
course.
any country, all over the world. We here tend to only look at track and field or football per se, while these countries look at everything.
And the thing with track and field, you know, everybody think it's all goal and all of that. There's a lot of athletes out there that is only the top 2 or top 3 in the world that really makes it, you know.
Even so,
you get what I'm
to reach
saying?
at that level, I mean, you have to have a pool where that person that actually makes it goes through a rigorous pyramid scheme basically to
Yeah.
reach to the top or become that world class athlete that you are expecting and looking for. Another point, as I said, I was touching on minor sports. Timo Bull, the top German player, I saw a video with him fooling around talking to the German footballers, and to them, he's a big star
Yeah, in Germany.
in Germany. Thomas Muller, all of them, and I'm like, oh, and he's looking at them like they're big stars. So they recognize each other and know that, hey, that man over there is the big man in table tennis because he nominated for Sportsman of the Year, and Thomas Muller the same, or all the Germans, you name them, and
Yeah,
it's just, as I said, the governance and the mindset of the people and
yeah.
what they do with
Yeah, man.
producing athletes.
Yeah, man. The
I mean,
mindset is different.
The mindset is different. And I said, it's way bigger than table tennis. You look at all the other sports. And I mean, hopefully here at Primal, we start a movement because we come,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
say it, but a lot of things,
What I
we are
want,
trying to do our end, but there's a lot more from a governing standpoint. And to meet the desired results.
yeah.
I mean,
And I-
everybody expects us to go to Caribbean and say, oh, you come back, oh,
Expect us
where are
to
the
win.
medals? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna lose. I mean, I go out there, try my best. I mean,
Yeah.
didn't get the desired result, but I'm proud of my performance, and I try to better myself each time and look forward to the next tournament.
Oh, how can my question to the viewers? You know, you guys can call in. How can you expect or you can expect a medal when you're competing against people who they're probably 10 times more than what you're playing because of the system that they're in. The environment that they play in is similar to the tournament environment. You know, we're playing.
A lot of factors.
Yes, there's a lot of we're playing in an enclosed environment. We're playing without surfaces that they're playing on constantly every day. You know, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You expect a miracle. What do you expect? What other result apart from
People only want to say, oh, yeah, you win. Oh, you don't get any medals. Oh, throw them under the bus, disregard it.
yeah?
Oh, they're no good. I mean, they don't know, as I said, back to the preparation phase. Everybody wants to see the execution phase or the end result.
The
where
execution
they
phase,
Don't even, they don't even want to see the execution phase. They want to see the finish line.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not at the finish line, if not first or before most people, they'll be like, oh, waste your time. Oh, what you doing this for? And everybody's in there to compete to win. And as I said, not only being a spectator, you only look at the end result. You don't see the hard work that is put in, plus the preparation phase and all those factors investing. It's a big wheel, and a lot of people have a lot of part to play. And as I said, you have to copy a model. And the model that is set, not only within the region, on a world standard.
Yeah.
It is not here. And we
Yeah.
keep expecting, the Reggae Boys to go to World Cup.
Oh, come on.
And I mean, you
Yeah.
said it earlier. Why is it that we're looking at Reggae Boys to qualify for World Cup? Why cannot Jamaica win the World Cup? But yet
Yeah.
still, if we qualified for the World Cup, national holiday is a big thing. We go to the World Cup, we don't win a match, probably score 1 goal and
Yeah.
back to the cycle again.
Yeah.
Why not produce professional footballers, a world-class team,
Yeah, why not?
to
Why
go
not?
to the quarterfinals of the World Cup?
Yeah, why not?
Semi-finals.
Why not?
Win the World Cup. Why not?
Why
Why
not?
Jamaica can't have a 11 versus 11 team or 23-man squad that can vie for the World Cup.
At every step of the way, Kane.
But yet still,
We have
you so-called knocking the minor sports.
Yeah.
But yet still, already boys all go full up stadium wide. What, for viewership, spectators? I mean, each sport has it right, and we want to be world beaters. We want to compete at the highest level. But there's no investment here. Look at the National Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Look at the surface they play on.
Yeah.
I mean, it is improving over the years. But compared to all these countries that I've been in,
You know,
I've been to Germany. Let me tell you. And I see 6-year-old kids, boys and girls playing together on a field. And if you see the kids playing, how structured it is. If you put a bunch of 6-year-olds, whether male or female, on the field in Jamaica, you're going to see one guy with the ball or girl trying to dribble out the field, trying to do some magical thing, and be like, that one is good, that one is for the future. Instead, building a system and a group of players to know how to play the sport.
There's no real thought process, you know.
And I mean, you go across and I said there are various sports.
Yeah, man.
And I said that is Germany, for world class, first world country. Simple, dam rep. I said dam rep, you have facilities where you have a boxing arena, volleyball, and it is available for them for training as national athletes. Where do I go to train? And what do I train on versus what do I compete on when I go abroad? It is totally a different thing.
You know, sports has evolved.
So what do we expect from our athletes?
Not
only table tennis, it's all athletes.
What do we expect, really?
What do we expect
from our Jamaican athletes?
And I mean, we are competing against people who are professionals, in a system, getting paid to do it.
Yeah. And
people are complaining and telling me, okay, this all
they're spoiled.
are washed up, but hey, I make my haters be my motivators. Here's the rocket. Go ahead and do it.
They're spoiled, you know, and it's the same thing that is happening to the West Indies. It's the same thing that's happening to the West Indies. They're left behind in every area of cricket. You know, people say, "No, we used to do this in the 70s," and I keep telling them, back in the 70s and the 60s, sports wasn't that professional, even in the first world countries. You had a lot of guys still working, and now they have a full professional system now in these countries. So how can you be talking about the 70s and the 80s and what you used to do then and comparing it to now, what is happening now? We're still doing the same thing that we did in the 70s and 80s now, you know. We're still going, with the players, not just table tennis, netballers, they still go to work and then go to training. We're in.
And if you look at it now, compared to back then, not only in sports, how do we used to communicate? Back then, you used to have to send a letter to England. You have to wait in the mail. I can't tell the last one I look forward to a mail.
All right.
My letterbox. Everything comes to my phone.
It's different.
And even so, back then, look how phones have evolved. Sports has evolved.
Yeah, man.
Sports is a science. Just like business. Business function different. You used to wait on certain things. Now, everything is technologically advanced. And so too sports. But yet still we're caught up into, all right, pick out the best athlete there and hope he makes it.
No.
How can he make it if there's no investment, there's no system, there's no training? Just raw talent, just go out there and play. And that is one person. How about building a system to have succession planning to produce more and more athletes?
Yeah, the whole dynamic of the thing is completely different. You know, it has evolved, it has changed.
So until we grasp up consensus.
So you are saying that we think we're gonna get with the times?
Probably 100 years from now.
I doubt that.
We probably are around 100 years from now. I
doubt that. If you look at what's happening and the trend, just here, even the English speaking Caribbean, and you look at the trend, it's not going in this direction.
No. It's at this point. Listen, level off, and it's across all sports.
Yes.
Sports.
Yes.
What are we world class in? I mean, track and field.
And for me, track and field is such a natural sport.
And it's down to sprinting.
Yeah, and it's such a natural sport. And yes, I do agree that we have a good system for track and field, but it is such a natural sport where you can just get up at the age of 18 and 17 and realize, I can jump high, you know. And the next 2-3 years, you're the number one in high jump in the world. You have cases like that. Yeah. You have cases like that. You have athletes.
And then again, back to the succession planning. But after Bolt on the male side, who's going to step up, but yet still we not these guys trying to step up and trying to be
it's a
what Bolt was.
yeah, man.
Bolt is a 1 in a million athlete.
Yeah. It is a.
And we're unfair to these athletes that are coming up and trying. And
Without a
trying.
doubt, as I said, track and field is heavily based off on natural talent. If you just don't have the muscles, you don't have the muscles. You'll never be a Bolt. You get what I'm saying? So when I'm talking about, I tend to leave track and field out of this and look at the other sports that we play here. What are we?
The technical abilities of the sport, boxing.
Yeah,
Cut boxing.
Yeah.
Cubans produce boxers after boxers, generation after generation.
And we used to do it.
But we're stuck in that phase where, hey,
We're stuck.
there.
Yeah, we're
70s. As
We're stuck in the same mindset.
Same mindset and expect to produce. Oh, where's another man? We're looking for next Mike McCallum.
You'll
There's
never
no boxing
find
going
that.
on.
You'll never find that.
And then even if we do find another Mike McCallum, why not have 10 Mike McCallums? Or a system where it produces other athletes.
I tell you this. A lot of people
Sport is a business.
don't believe that politics is tied to sports. It is definitely tied to sports.
it is.
And you see, if our economy, if our whole thing here don't improve, sports will never improve. That's just the end of it, because
sports is
the
a
mindset
business.
of how we deal with things here, I don't see it changing, and I almost see it sliding down. It's a downward trend, if you ask me.
Well, in
And
comparison to what the rest of our contemporaries are doing, people who we are competing against are willing to take that step, are willing to get to the times.
yeah.
Sports is a science.
Yeah.
And I mean,
we're in trouble.
they've
We're in
invested
trouble.
from having sports therapists, I mean,
Yeah, we're in trouble.
psychotherapists, massage therapists, is a science to how you warm up, to how you build an athlete.
Yeah, man.
I mean, recovering from injuries, rehabilitation phase. Oh, yes, athlete play and come back. And I mean, I'm back from Caribbean Championships now. And my lower back is hurting me. So what?
Yeah.
I have to get up, I have to go train.
Yeah.
And I do that on my own.
Yeah. What we
And I
do?
don't like to talk about myself personally.
Yeah, what
because
we do
this
here-
is not about me or just even so table tennis alone. It's across all, but we might use examples here and there and draw back to table tennis where we are most familiar with. I mean, we're keen on all sports, but it's tough.
Yeah.
And I said the whole system in Jamaica, and then the athletes do make it. And we have athletes that come on, like for example, Alia Atkinson, that gave us her journey or a roadmap of how she became a world record holder. And I mean, self-investment. But then how do we produce another Alia? Next 50 years, next 100 years, next 10 years? Why not have more Alias? Why
Yeah.
not copy her roadmap, her model of what she did, and try to invest that into a group of persons?
You see, anywhere you have self-investment, Kane, it will never be sustainable. It will never be sustainable. You're gonna have it once in every 100, 200 years. You'll never have something that is continuous. And as I said before, the talent is not from that type of type of environment. You get what I say? So if you don't have a proper system, as I always say, if you don't have that kind of system, and that's, I won't even call it assistance. It's their job.
Yeah.
It's their job to reinvest socially and socially and
we are
whatever
talking
within your own society.
And
You understand?
this goes beyond sports as well.
That's what I'm saying.
As I said, that's where politics tie into sports and the governance of, if you're doing a business, sports, I mean, your
Everything-
household, your family, I mean,
It
your
should be-
community,
Yeah.
you have to have an investment and a proper one
You
at
have to
that.
invest in your people.
Yeah.
Point blank. You have to invest in the people.
And
Whether it's
people are-
sports, whether it's education, all of these things are tied into one thing.
Yeah.
You have to reinvest.
And there are
in people.
viable sources to make the country a better place.
Of course. Easily.
It is work. Sports is work. It's a business.
Of course. And there are many other things that you can do. You can even bond the athlete. You take care of the athlete. You help him to get a big baseball contract. You bond him for 10% over 10 years. He has to give back some of his salary every year back to your country or back within. There are many ways many creative ways of getting back some of that investment that you had invested from day one. There's many boxing, American football. You name the sports that you know the dollars are in.
Yeah.
It is a no-brainer. But I guess we don't look long term. It's always short term, and this is what we get. And I really hope that maybe one day, our mindset can change a little bit. You know, even a fraction, even a fraction. But let us move on. Let's move on a little because I have something else that I wanted. Football, King. You know, a lot of people say Messi's done based on that the Champions League match, that Real Madrid PSG match. Tell me your thoughts on that match there.
Big blunders. I mean, PSG seem to have the match under control. I mean, everybody's coming down on Messi, as you should say.
Yeah, man. But the whole week.
I mean, it's far bigger than Messi.
Yeah.
PSG is a team of individuals, basically.
Yeah.
And to blunder right there and give up a lead, defensive errors after defensive errors, I swear Real Madrid got momentum and came back. So Messi individually seems to be tailing off a bit. In my stance, I think he's saving himself for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think, but I mean, to play consistently at that level for 10 years, 10 plus years, I mean, at some point, when we see Cristiano Ronaldo this morning scoring a hat trick for Manchester United at his age, I mean, his performance get less and less over time, but we just have to appreciate the time we have with them. But back to the match, sorry, to stray from it. I mean, PSG is known for blunders year after year before Messi, and I mean, I don't think he should be blamed totally, but I mean, Real Madrid is a quality team. We saw two quality teams played, and the momentum in the last 20 minutes of the match definitely shifted in the favor of Real Madrid, and they came up trumps. I mean, if
yeah. Well, my thoughts on it, I have similar thoughts like yourself here. Well, from the first goal, I saw a shift in the momentum. But I personally thought Madrid was playing a little bit better. I thought they were playing a little bit better, you know, and Mbappe, who is, for me, he's the best ball in the world. No, for me. Based on form, no, for me. I think Mbappe is the best. I think he scored a goal against the runner play. But I thought Madrid was playing the better football, the more positive football. PSG was kind of counter-attacking where they could, but the match really got away from that the blunder by the keeper. But I thought it was a foul, you know. That was very. No, it's the first I ever see a ref swallow and whistle like that, and a goalkeeper. When it come on to the keeper, you absolutely can't touch them. And I thought that was a foul. The line didn't see the ref. That was very surprising, and that was a turning point. That the whole momentum shift from there. You know, that it's like you just give up an easy goal like that.
And after that,
just all downhill. Mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. But all in all, I want to touch on the man named Messi. You know, I think
he's finished?
I think Messi's done.
Like Djokovic?
No. I think Messi, I don't see any energy from Messi. You know, and I was looking for a little burst or something, even for 5 minutes. I didn't see it at all.
You're saying that Messi is just slowly walking off into the under.
I think
no more great performances, no.
I think he's done.
You're right now, Messi.
Yeah, man.
Today is what day? March 12th. Saturday, March 12th.
Yeah, man. I
2022.
Yeah.
You're right enough.
I was with you in the earlier part, but after careful observation, you know, Peter said it about a month ago that he thought that Messi, you know, Messi is not the same Messi. And I saw it, you know, a couple dribbles down the line. I've never seen a man just bounce Messi and take him off the ball so easy. So I'm saying, no, this is not the Messi that I'm used to
he's
seeing.
homesick and not used to
I think the foot them a little bit too heavy now, man.
No, but Messi, I think Messi is going to
for World Cup
have a remarkable World Cup. I mean, the Schwab don't usually get things wrong. And I mean, Messi, I hope you're listening. I mean, fix things. Although Italy is my side when it comes to national football. Second to Reggae Boys, you know, the Jamaica flag comes first, but Messi at the World Cup, I think he's going to do great
All
things.
right, we'll definitely continue this discussion after sports commentary. So
I mean, we should be having sports commentary any moment now.
Right now, controversial boss Peter Young with his commentary.
Back from his or hiatus in Cuba.
Yes.
Living la vida.
Take it away.
Take it away, Peter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize as producer for sports for Primal Sports Center. I have to apologize for the absence of Caribbean champion Jorge Campos because while I was at the tournament, he committed to turning up on the show, and he apologized just a few hours ago because he got the times crossed. He's playing a match in Italy. And you guys touched on it, but I'm still gonna think that the people who we're playing against, I played against the Cuban number 2, and I got a beating. I got a what you'd call a whooping from the guy. I was able to keep the scoreline decent, but it showed me the gap that exists between a professional sportsman and a good amateur. I'm a good amateur, guys. A good amateur like myself. Unfortunately, Jamaica has how many pro table tennis players? Maybe zero. Zero pro table tennis players. So I'm able to stay in the game because I'm a good amateur. But if the country had some professionals, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to represent the country. But we have to send the best quality team. And for now, we're going to have some good amateurs on the team. Ken, I think you have a couple more years, you can probably go pro. And Simon Tomlinson, he certainly is in that sweet spot where he could go pro. But playing against pro players, and I'm sure the same thing is happening when we're running past people in athletics. I'm sure some of them are amateurs that we're running against. Anyway, back to sports commentary. I have a couple of things that maybe not sports related, but I hear Capleton say when he went on tour, he'll come back and find out a lot of things. So one of the things I found out is that Jamaica is going to have some new currency. And, having dabbled with a couple of currencies, I saw that Jamaica is going to put Michael and Edward on the same bill and all this kind of thing. And it's just how it struck me. And I just thought, I don't get to talk on the news shows. This is Primal Sports, but I'm going to say, I don't know that Jamaica should be a country which has 2 men on the same note. I think that Michael was on the note by himself. Give him back his own note. Give Siaga his own note. The currency not worth much. So you might as well have a lot of notes. Everybody can get their own note in Jamaica. But putting 2 men on the note, I understand that we're seeing Jamaica as being divided, and therefore we need to have a man for one side and a man for the next side. Is that what we're going to know? We can't just honor Mr. Manley and give him his own note, and honor Mr. Siaga, give him his own note. I know Dale is not Dale uncomfortable with the non-sports talk, but I'm just saying, don't put 2 men on the same note, man. Put Manley and Nanny on the note. Put Buster and I don't know, a lady thing on the note. Why you put 2 men on the note? It's not a good look. I think we should rethink that one before they start printing that money. Because maybe that money won't be spent well around here. and seeing as we're talking non-sports, I'm going to go back into sports in a minute. But Shensia album continues to bother me. She just released an album. Pretty girl, very talented. I don't know that I like a video with her 2 knees. 1 knee over one end of the thing and 1 knee all the way over there, and this is Shensia. Is that what music has come to deal? Is that what you guys listening to? Rihanna, pregnant, and she's showing off in clothes with this huge stomach. I don't think it's a good look for a national hero, even a pregnant national hero, because national heroes do get pregnant. But I don't know that being that brandishing pregnancy. I think that pregnant women are, there's a beauty to it, but it's not the kind of beauty that dresses up in a G-string bikini and thing there. I think that she should cover it up for the dignity of the child and the husband and all these kind of things. And Dale, I promise I'm going to get on sports soon. All right. But having gone to the Caribbean champs of table tennis and talking to the competitors there, I am not astonished, to find out that while we were on lockdown and many of our activities were on lockdown, a lot of the people who we are competing against, I'm not making an excuse, were not on lockdown. Very few countries were on lockdown. When I talked to Guyana about, what did I talk to them about? The curfew. They laughed in my face. They had no such thing going on. And the JTT, the Jamaica Table Tennis Association, can tell you that even in trying to have a trials, we had to have special permits. In trying to have a nationals, we had to have a permit. We had to do a PCR test through the nationals. Nobody else is doing it, just us. What does have to do with sport? It have to do with sport that we just had a World Cup qualifiers in which all the odds were stacked against us. Jamaica needed the 12th man, and we did not allow anybody to go watch a match. I saw some politicians there. They were like there's Minister of Sport and a couple other people. They were allowed to go and watch the match. But the average man was not allowed to watch the football. And even in the sport I play, we were not allowed to properly train a team. There are some people saying that we shouldn't have sent a team and all this kind of thing. And that mentality comes around whenever I've noticed. You never hear them complaining that we should be investing in something enough. But they say, we shouldn't send a team, we should invest that money in something else. But before the sending of the team, do you hear these people talking about investment? No. What is bothering them is the sending of the team. It's the one thing Jamaicans fight over: tickets and trips. This is the problem. We fight over tickets, trips, and food. We don't fight. We had to send a team. Out of this, I want to tell Jamaica, this man is going to get to go to Pan Am Games. It's an opportunity for him to move forward in sports. Solisha Young is going to get an opportunity to go to the Pan Am Games and possibly become a professional. And if we don't enter these events because we're not going to come first, we are condemning these people to some alternative other than sports. They play sports so that they can aspire to be who they want to be. People in administration, too bad mind. And people out of administration. We're going to talk about administration. I remember when Merlin Otti had a chance of greatness. You guys know the numbers. Merlin Otti made the time and could have run one more Olympics. It would have been a record. Remind me, Dale, it would have been number 6 or number 5, I don't care. Donald Quarry had a similar dilemma presented to him where he had a chance. Donald Quarry had a chance. He made the time in the 200 and could have gone to yet another Olympics. Possibly the greatest 200-meter run of all time. You know who denied it that opportunity? It was not the IOC. It was Jamaica's administrators. Because many people get into administration are frustrated athletes, frustrated sportsmen. Donald Quarry had a chance of greatness and it was taken from him by an administrator. Merlin Otti had a chance at greatness. It was taken from an administrator. I give credit to Andrew Lou for not taking away Kane's opportunity by allowing him to compete in the team and in the singles. And even though some people might not want to see me playing, you can't stop me. Because once you have a trials, I'm going to come out top 2, top 3. You don't know. They're going to tired to see this face. Because once it's a fair ground, and by the way, there are some people who we're going to talk the thing later on. So let it stay in the task. But table tennis made the headlines. The whole of 2 years ago, there was a struggle. It was a death struggle. It was what they call an existential struggle between Mr. Lothian, who was running table tennis, and Mr. Angelo. And why I bring this up? The struggle between Lothian and Angelo represents the dichotomy between what is and what is possible. Mr. Lou knew that his biggest task was to have change. Bring in an administrator who could take the sport forward. Because sport had stagnated for 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 years, right? And in that struggle, Mr. Lou accomplished something that none of us could have accomplished. He created change. Now it's time for Andrew to make his plans known and to move the thing forward. But let me put it to you, that a lot of people are talking and gnashing and weeping and wailing about Andrew Lou. Andrew Lou's greatest achievement was to create change in the JTTA so that new life could be breathed into it. And anywhere we go from here is up. Anywhere we go from here is up. But that's sports commentary for today. What say you guys?
Yes, important.
Yeah. Do you remember the phone lines are up now? 1-876-552 7406, and that's via WhatsApp only. Feel free to call in from now to the end of the show, talk on any sporting topic. I mean, we're all ears, and I mean, we're up for it. We're up for the people. So, Peter touched on some interesting points a while ago. And
Rihanna and G-string.
Yeah, I mean, and the two man and the money and all of that. But I like how him go back into the sports and touch on, I mean, playing of the sport and
the same issue.
People always have a problem of sending teams
and talking about investment.
And most of these
fact.
people who are speaking are people, as Peter said, that Peter feel as sport athletes, never made a team, always have something to say. I mean,
what do you think?
Take a pick. You be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And
what do you think? It's always good to have them, you know.
Oh, I love them. I tell you, I let my haters be my motivators.
Yes,
I love them.
It's
I
good
love
to,
them. Even some people you think are
probably don't
your friends and are in your corner, are probably not. But I mean, real no real, and you keep it real. I mean, you take from it what you can. And I said, there's no such thing as losses. The only time you lose is when you give up.
When you retreat, when you surrender.
It's when you give up.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know,
when you yield.
The brave may fall but never yield. We never yield. So the only time you lose is when you don't try. You fail. I mean, there's no such thing as failure. You can garner from it a lot of these experiences and you move forward.
Persistence is one of the most
Rome
important
wasn't built in a day, and you can't win every day. And you learn how to win from losing.
Of course. I like what Peter said to him. You know, Andrew gave the players an opportunity. You know, it's important. You know, you get the opportunity to show your talent out there. You know, you qualify, you and Salisha qualify. That's another stepping stone. Who knows? You could get a contract after that. Who knows what is possible?
I mean, have something to look forward to.
Of course.
Something to prepare for. I mean, as I said,
of course,
it's not only up to the association. There must be some intrinsic motivation within myself to push myself to higher heights. Yes, I do need investment. I do need backative. This goes for not me, as I said, for everybody. And it starts from the individual, but yet still it's a system. No man is an island. I need to build on that system and have people in your corner, people pushing you. And I said, it has to start somewhere, and you branch off and you develop a pool of players, you develop a system. I said, you copy a model.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We see where we used to compete with, hold on a second, we're having a caller. First call of the day. Welcome to Primal Sports. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, guys. Doctor. Glad to see you guys back.
Yeah, we're back. Back like we never left. Yeah.
Back to the Saturday, right?
Yeah, the show must go on. We're sorry about last week's show. We're absent. We're in Cuba representing 876 to the fullest. But I mean, we try not to have any more hiccups along the way. And Primal is a set thing. Primal Sports. So what's your take today?
So today, you touched on a few things. I think you and Dale touched on a few things regarding sports and the other developing countries and what they do. For me, I think that it's all about developing persons. I don't think I've ever seen a DR national team, the Dominican Republic national football team.
They do have one. Every country in the world has a national football team. Football is universal.
Because when you said that, when you were training and you were there, you're passing a lot of mini stadiums, baseball, netball, football. And for me, I think these countries, what they do, they try to develop the individuals and not per se a team itself. Because developing the individuals means that you are developing persons who can push themselves forward and in turn invest back into the country itself. So it's all about developing these persons.
Well, they have a structure for the team. They develop teams as well.
O'Neal, I get what you're saying, because that's the same thing Craig Butler does out here. I understand what you're saying, but yes, they still do it within a team structure. Like that's like
And
with
they have
baseball, because
yeah.
you still have to learn how to play within the team structure.
There are national
But
programs.
they do develop. It's out of a system, but they do develop the individuals as well as a concept in terms of team play. So I
And
get.
they have national facilities with national training.
And you remember boxing? They have world class boxers.
Baseball players,
Yeah, man.
you name it, volleyball teams.
But here in Jamaica, we don't seem to do that. We seem
Nah.
to be relying on the government or some association to come forward and say, hey,
No. Hold on.
But the government does it in
Hold
other
on,
countries.
Hold
That's what I
on.
said.
Hold on. In Dominican Republic, the facilities is given by the government,
By the government.
right? The players don't pay the coaches. The coaches are paid by the government. It's a big difference. So you, like a little 3 years ago, a little 17-year-old kid got a contract to play, I think, one of those major league teams, and right away $7 million changed his life and his family's life. You understand? They're not paying coaches to play. They're not paying to use the facility. It's given to them by the government. It's a big difference.
but I don't see our government developing that type of facility.
That is exactly
That's
the
what
point
we're
that we're
saying.
making.
That's what we're
So
saying.
we're always going to be left behind when it comes down to a lot of these sports, especially the sports that required facilities and years of training.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen here.
It can happen, but that's the model that we need to take. That's what we're saying. And we are competing against these countries and against these players. And yet still we're like, oh, where are the medals? Oh, why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing that? All the negative. Instead of, all right, we are at this point. They are better than us. What are they doing different? What do we need to do
Yes.
to reach to that level, or to go further, surpass that level? Why did Cuba win everything in table tennis? Why Cuba produce national boxers, international boxers, volleyball, baseball, you name it. Why do they do it, and why aren't we doing it?
And before you sorry to cut you, Kane, but even when you even look at the technical part within track and field, Cuba is very dominant, you know. If you look at the technical,
High jump, long jump.
the technical events, we're not talking about the natural events like sprinting, right? We dominate in things that are natural because that's what we rely on in Jamaica. Those countries don't rely on natural abilities. They rely on a system and training. And you will find that Cubans, the throws, high jump.
We are getting better in track and field because we have better coaches now.
Yeah.
Branching off. I mean, we have seen shot putters.
Yeah.
We are getting
It's
people out there, but Cubans were always there.
It's a mindset. You know,
Sotomayor.
they think of,
I mean, hammer throw females. You name it. So as you said, the mindset and what they do.
we're always hoping for some natural talent and this and that. That's all we talk about here in Jamaica is talent, you know. That's all. We don't talk about development of the talent.
Bolt was world class from the age of 17.
You know,
15.
One word, God.
Yeah,
I mean, there you go.
yeah,
That natural given talent.
yeah. That's what we rely on. Anything else you want to touch on, O'Neal?
Well, I'm just happy that you guys are back.
Yeah.
And looking like you guys trimmed down a little bit.
I mean, trim down the hair, or you're talking about physique?
Oh, yeah, trimmed down his physique, man.
Yeah, we're over there representing, and it was a tough tournament, but I said we try to garner the positives and look forward. I myself and Salisha Young qualified for the Pan Am Championships to be held in Chile in October. So I mean, there were positives from the tournament.
But thank you, though.
There's always going to be positives, you know. And it's just a good feeling to know that you guys were able to put in the work.
And I mean, after this pandemic, it was also tough.
You represented the country well, given the little resources that you had, the little time that you had, you did what you had to do. And you can only get greater from here for table tennis and for any sports once you put in the work and the recognition is there. And I think the recognition needs to be, the government needs to recognize table tennis and needs to recognize a lot of other sports out there who are actually trying on their own.
Yeah.
You guys are trying. You guys have been trying. not just now.
Yeah.
And I think they need to put in that type of facility. Let the facilities out there. Get persons out there doing what they're doing. Too often you hear that, hey, they start this thing and then it just done.
Yeah.
They start the gymnastics in Jamaica and slowly you don't even hear about it anymore. And touch on what Peter said about investment and persons were talking about why he send a table tennis team and all of this.
Yeah.
They spend money sending somebody to ski on the bobsled.
I hope Peter is not hearing that, but yeah. I mean, I see you listen to Primal every week, so you know what we're talking about.
They spend their money on bobsled and sending some guy to.
I mean, but there are areas that we can venture in, but I mean, as I said, you have to invest to produce.
That wouldn't benefit.
If you don't water the garden, the trees won't grow. So you have to water the seed. And it takes time.
But like I said, I'm going to give somebody a chance to call in. It's wonderful to have my Prime Saturday back.
Alright, big up, Golson.
Thanks.
Alright, respect.
Yeah,
as I said, I mean, even so, when you touch on it now, I as an individual now, I've been playing table tennis for a while. I have some expertise, knowledge to sport training, what it takes to a certain degree of professionalism in the sport. Who do I pass this on to? Okay. Where is the avenue to? Says, all right, if I don't seek it out, or even so, I have one student that I say, all right, why not share my expertise with coaches, to a group of kids, to the national junior team.
So you think we should have more like seminars for a lot of the senior players to kind of help
to pass down knowledge, and you can only benefit from that.
Of course.
I mean, when you look at it, why I even started playing table tennis was in high school. That program that was in high school I was a product of succession plan year after year, player after player. I used to go in the table tennis room and I sit down and watch players like you, Darrell Strawn, Gavin Hilton, to name a few. I hope I don't deep out anybody. But and I used to sit and I used to watch second form, third form I play a little more. And then I made the team third form. By fourth form, I was ready to take over who was leaving.
Yeah.
Well, we have a second caller for the day. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Yes, good afternoon. G-Day Louis here.
Welcome, G-Day.
Add my 2 cents to the discussion this afternoon.
Sure.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I'm just for full disclosure, I'm a parent of two other players who went to the recent championships in Cuba. And, when I got a chance to talk to another parent of a junior athlete, the stark difference between our approach in Jamaica and Cuba was staggering. I mean, I can understand everything that you were saying because you're speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
But the most of the things that I could pick up, I mean, the young athlete, I think her daughter is 17. And she goes to a sports school, in which they get up in the morning from about 4:30 and train for maybe 3 hours, do some classes, and then do gym work in the early afternoon, and then in the evening another 2 hours. Of training. I get the impression that if they wanted to do more, they could get permission from their coach to actually put in additional hours, but they still work on services or third ball attack or fifth ball attack specific combinations and so on. So this is something she's been doing since she's 8.
Yes.
So she's now 17. So this is 9 years of Monday to Saturday training. So when you watch them play, I mean, the touch that they have on the ball, the control, the strategies that they can execute, these are all textbook practices, they're automatic now.
Yeah, second nature.
Second nature to them at this
And
point.
this is what we are competing against.
Extremely. You
And
can see it, you can-
expect to miraculously beat.
Yeah, I think it's the difference. I mean, I'm sure that if we were to play them at 11 or 12, maybe they wouldn't see such a stark difference.
It will be closer, much closer.
Yeah.
But by the time they reach 15, the distance is large, and by the time they reach 17, 18. The other thing that I notice is that they have a very natural transition because of this, from the junior program to the senior program.
Yeah.
So the junior athletes, I mean, their seniors are 19, 20. And there's a whole string of junior athletes behind them that are vying and competing with them. So it creates a whole different sort of competitive dynamic within the team just to represent your country locally, let alone to represent your country abroad.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share that stark difference in Jamaica, where depending on individual effort, we're depending on, as a parent, I have to drive around to different places to find where one or two people might be playing, to ask them if they'd love to play with my children so that they can practice.
Yeah.
It's a completely different.
It's completely different. And that's
90
because,
miles apart, geographically on the map, but eons apart in terms of experience.
yeah.
Yes.
Mentality towards
And
preparation.
A lot of people, this is why I say a lot of people don't understand that table tennis is not a game where you can go out there and be thinking about to move your leg and to swing and to move this and move that. Things have to be somewhat second nature. And in order for it to be second nature, you have to put in a certain amount of hours. Just like when you get up and you walk every day, and then you learn to walk properly. And then so it's the same thing like for table tennis. You can't go out there and trying to fix something, and it have to be ingrained in you, right? And
absolutely.
And it is.
And I mean,
and for that girl at 17, she probably played about 30,000 hours by the time she reached 70. By the time she reached 17, 18.
We're probably, we have 7,000 hours that we have accumulated a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Player. And this is why a lot of our local players, they plateau.
Yeah.
Because it really does take a very long time to get that level of competence so that you can do what is in your head to do under pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly so.
What is required to do what you intend to do under pressure.
Yeah.
That is really what makes the difference between the person who goes on the podium and the person who sit down and watch the run going. So, I mean, there are things we can do. I don't necessarily think Jamaica has to wait until we have a sports college. We don't necessarily have to wait on that, but we have to appreciate that certain basic infrastructure like a venue, flooring, good tables, good table tennis balls, rackets. Those things have to be almost, not things that you're thinking about, so that athletes can focus on developing their talent.
Yes.
Right? Because those we have very talented athletes in Jamaica.
Yeah, without a doubt, we know we have talent.
You can't sit around and wait on that special talent or that Usain Bolt to pop up every 100 years. I mean, the talent is right there, but we have to harness the talent. The talent without preparing, training is just talent.
You know my saying. Talent was for the 70s and 80s. that is where you used to find a man who cook as a chef, and during the evening they're going to play TT and beat the world champion. No, that was for the 70s and 60s. In today's world, it's about training and system.
Yeah, it's a profession. It's a science.
Yeah.
So
and table tennis. This is why table tennis are hard, Even if you're not talented, you can still become a great player, That is why table tennis is so difficult. Anybody can beat you on a given day. Doesn't matter if you have a smaller hand than you, or you remember tall the guy with a small hand?
Yeah. Doesn't matter who's taller, whose stride is longer.
Yeah.
On the day,
talent right now for me is very insignificant. I think systems and training is the way to go.
Yeah.
But thank you, JD. You have anything else you want to add?
No, man, that was the main point I wanted to just share. So that we don't think that it's magic, or we don't think that, for example, our players are not as good, or that there's something intrinsically different.
Yeah.
It's not an intrinsic difference between
No.
that. It's not that we want it more,
Yeah.
we want it less.
No.
All of these arguments that sometimes float around in the air, people, you said to someone, to a junior, they're not trying hard enough. Nobody goes out there, takes up a racket, put on national colors, and don't try.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
all in the preparation phase. All in the
It's all in
preparation.
the preparation. You have to win.
And it's years. It
those
takes years.
championships
Doesn't take a month.
before you even need- Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't take a week. It doesn't take 1 year. It takes years, and it takes dedication. It takes
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah, thank you, GD.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. Yeah, first time calling, right? No.
First time calling.
All right.
Okay.
Don't make it be the last. Okay?
Yeah, man.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks for your input
Yeah.
here. Yeah, it's a significant thing there, man.
And
The
I mean-
20,000, the rule of it's 10,000 hours is a minimum in order for you to master anything that you do in life. You have to go through that hours, and this is why I keep on telling them age in Jamaica don't play table tennis anymore, because a man at 30, 35 is just based on the amount of hours that we can put in from young. We're just starting to really master what we're doing. You know what I mean? And you find it with the Europeans as well. They develop much later than the Chinese because of the amount of hours that they put in at certain points. So telling a man that he's 33 and 34, he must come out of the game, and 38, I don't believe in that. Not in our current system.
Once you can put in the time,
Yeah.
and I said put in hours. I like the point that Judy touched on, where he made mention of this young athlete.
Mhm.
You see what the young athlete do
Of
at
course.
4:30,
Yeah, man.
and then school at 7,
Yeah.
and then train again, and then
Train
school,
again,
then
gym.
train again,
Yeah.
gym, off the table, on the table.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's not one person doing it.
No, it's a group.
She's at a school
Yeah.
doing it with a group,
Yeah. Exactly.
having a coach,
Of course. Many coaches, not
Many
just one.
coaches.
Yeah, man. Different coaches too.
guiding her.
Yeah. You have the physical coach different from the
And where do you think?
tactical.
Where do you think? I mean, she does it at a decent facility.
Yeah. Of course.
And
They don't
I'm
play-
wondering who even pays the coach.
As I said before, we know who pays the coach.
No, it's not the
The
parents.
government.
The government pays it.
From the taxpayers' money. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want to get involved in that
In the
argument. but-
politics.
yes, man, but it burned me.
I mean,
it burned me. You know?
and this is what we're up against, and this is what we're
Yeah.
competing.
Yeah.
Make mention, because I take note, I've been to El Salvador, and I see camps where the kids are there playing football from a tender age in a schooling system. I mean, most people probably tend to do. You probably have it out there in football, but
yeah.
why not across all sport? Been to Argentina,
Yeah.
and I see a group of kids coming in from Rosario, and I'm like, out of these kids, and you see them, they're in a system. They're away from their parents for a certain period of time. They play, they go from city to city, they train, they play matches, and you can see the team coming and they're moving. It's like they are brothers. I probably see my national teammates on one sitting when it's time to go and travel.
Yeah, we know it work. But we
There has to be a change. And I'm saying it not only for me and not only for my time, but going forward and going across all sports. The model is there. Nothing is hidden. Everything is on YouTube. Everything is.
Google. It's
well, right there.
It's well noted, you know.
Hold on, we're having our next caller. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Greetings, Primal team. How are you doing?
Oh, good, we're good. We're back in studio.
Yeah.
You know, from the hiatus last week. Yeah, we're back in studio.
After 1 week break, eh?
Yeah, we didn't want the break, but I mean,
Why to take it?
we took it, and the show must go on.
Anyway, table tennis is the subject today.
Table tennis.
Yes, it seems that way. I want to talk about Messi a little bit, but let's go.
You see, the challenge with Jamaican table tennis is what the time, dedication to commit to the sport will succeed.
Because we don't have facilities to facilitate growth and development in table tennis in Jamaica. I remember 95 when I went to Guatemala as a manager. There was a complex for indoor sports, a big complex.
Yeah, upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah, floor of a sport. And table tennis had a floor for themselves. The point I'm making is that gone are the days where the passion for table tennis exists. In my earlier days, it was about passion driving the sport more than venues and table tennis. Because people have passion for the sport then. Now, that a distraction that exists now in sports. And first of all, table tennis is not a sport that really you can really do professionally and enjoy a good life. You have to be on top to really do that. So you really have to get back to the passion. But what Jamaica need to do, because right now, when Stephen Hilton and Michael and Garfield Jones succeed, it was almost self-development, self-interest. They was just motivated by themselves, and they was work hard.
Yeah.
We're not going to find it again in Jamaica. Nobody that way does dedicate themselves to reach Olympics, because there's not much to achieve apart from anything else to professional.
And Paco, let me add. I'm not going to let you continue, but I'm going to add to that. And Garfield Jones stopped playing at 24, 23, right after him qualified for Olympics when he realized that there was nothing there in place.
That's correct.
All right, continue.
So the big point that I'm making is that the government need to wake up, because table tennis is a very good sport. It's a good sport that even for it helps you health-wise, because if you can play table tennis up to 70, 80, 90. You understand me? They need to wake up and realize that this is a very good sport and get a complex. We need a home for table tennis. We need a home for
all sports. All sports in Jamaica.
Yeah.
There are, lands all over the place that something that can be built on.
It's a disgrace. Look on the national, they keep trying the idea. It's like we're playing on Breezy Castle. We're playing with somewhere now.
And even to touch on your
Breezy Castle.
Sunshine City. But even to touch on your point as well, what Michael and Stephen and those players did back then, it is even much harder now, because who they're playing against now, playing with now, everybody level up, everybody treat the sport different, and it's a sports science in most of these countries right across Latin America. Latin America has about 20 players in the top 150.
Can you imagine?
At this point in time. Back then you didn't have that. Now you have a Brazilian top 5 in the world. There's an Argentinian top 50. There's an American top 30. There's a Chilean top 100. 2 Chileans. Right across the region, South America, coming up, North America, you have players all across the world that they are top in the sport.
Yeah, the countries.
So it's even tougher now, because they are investing in the sport, and we are trying to compete and stay with them when, if it's not one individual or two individuals that takes it upon within themselves, then you have nothing.
All right, but it's something the whole government needs to really look
Of course.
at home for table tennis. We need somewhere where we can set table tennis home, where people can play 24/7 if they want. And the level must go up, Once you have a home for the sport with 10 or 12 tables, the level must go up.
It will go up without a doubt.
What is also necessary is also tournaments. We need to have a lot of tournaments to drive people to train and compete, because the only way to measure performance is really tournaments. And if you not play tournaments, you can't measure people's performance.
Yeah.
So that's not so necessary. But what we did the other day was really, we just went and marked our name at the Caribbean, because we didn't expect to do anything based on the time frame that we decided to attend and the time frame to prepare. So we just come mark our name and come back.
Yeah.
The next time around, though, and if the president listen, I want to hear this. The next time around, we need to go and dominate the ship. Sorry to sound like that, but I'm really passionate about it.
It doesn't take 1 year though, Paco. It doesn't take 1 year.
Yeah, but we have to start somewhere.
That's where they start from this year. Where we go and we compete.
The preparation is physical preparation, but have to be physical as well. You understand? So
you have to do a lot of things. It takes a long investment. It doesn't happen over a year.
The more love the government to get a venue and move for table tennis, and the better it for the sport in the future. And that we need different.
The desired result that we want from the sport takes at least 5 to 10 years. Minimum. to compete in this region. If you look at the Puerto Ricans, Dominican Republic players, a Dominican player was there down to play for the tournament, on his way to the tournament, and got the opportunity to go to Germany to train. And they send that junior, instead of to come to the Caribbean Championships, they sent him to Germany for, I think it's 2 weeks in, I'm not sure if it's 2 weeks or 2 months, you know the transition with the Spanish and all that. But instead of coming to the Caribbean country, he had an opportunity because there was an avenue and he went to Germany. He's probably still in Germany now playing. So we are going to compete against that guy next year in the championships.
Yeah.
And they sent another junior to come and play. And he did well and he made the round of 16 and qualified for the Pan Am
Can you imagine?
Championships. And this is a junior.
Most countries.
So we you saying come back next year, it takes way longer than that. These Puerto Rican guys that are Brian Afan and Dan Gonzalez. I remember 2005 when I went to Guatemala, my first Caribbean Championships, I was 17. Me and these kids were basically on the same level. Even former national champion Chris Marsh beat these two guys. And that was 2005. And 10 years on, train after train after train. 15 years on now. They're top 100 in the world. So the investment that we are looking at and where we want to be, we are looking at a short-term plan.
Yeah.
It cannot be a short-term plan. The level that even if what we want, or we want to compete, it takes way more than that, and we have to catch up to our contemporaries, and it takes time. And it has to start now. We want to compete next. How can we compete against them next year?
Okay.
Well, Kane.
We can get closer, but to the point where we are,
What I want to see next year is that at least when we go next year, we in the game. You understand me? And when you get in the game, it's preparation. We get back in the game. Get in the game.
Yeah.
You understand? So all I'm saying is, we know the time frame. We know what we need to do. We just need to get it done. Just like Nike.
Yeah.
Just do it.
All
Takes
right.
time.
All right, Paco. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Paco.
All right.
Yeah, respect. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the end, the desired result. But the work that you put in, it's not just overnight. It's not just thought.
Yeah,
We have the team manager online for the Table Tennis Caribbean Championships. Mr. Wallace, how are you doing today? Hello, we're not.
Yeah, let us move on. Yeah, let us move on. Yeah,
And I said, it's not like back in the day where you go and you compete against people that you're doing the same thing with.
No,
These people are taking it to the next level.
yeah, it's another level.
Back in the day when we used to compete and be top of the Caribbean, we were competing against people who we are them doing the same thing. Now the level playing field is not level. It's on another level. It's just like we want to use the big walkie-talkie back in the day.
Yeah,
we're still using the big walkie-talkie when we have
cell phones,
13,
and
iPhone 13 Pro Max. We are using big walkie-talkie to try to communicate and expect to have the same communication across. Now, you have to go with the time. I said,
it's going to
output
take
after output.
Yeah, it's going to take
kids
some
after
time.
kids.
It's going to take some time.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and
it's probably not happening in my cycle within my career.
What I want to see, they keep a lot of people saying about investment like Garfield and what these guys did individually. That cannot work. That's not sustainable, and that has never been sustainable in no form of environment.
Back in the 70s,
you have to. You cannot get good in a box. Hold on.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Okay, so.
Hello, good afternoon.
It's a wrong number.
Let us go. Yeah, man. You can't get if you are looping and the next man is just blocking, you can't raise your level. We need. So what we need to start with first, we need to start with a venue. That is the first thing that we need to start with, and then we need to get everybody playing. So, it have to be in terms of competition. Everybody have to kind of force each other to raise the level. You know, you can't be looping and I don't know not more loop. You know, like back in the days when that guy from England, what's his name? Peter, help me with the name from Arville came to Jamaica and won must say 8 nationals because he's the only man know about topspin and forehand loop. You know what I mean? So we need for first have venues that's accessible to people, and then we need to have that competitiveness, that environment. You push me, me push you, you push Simon, him push you. We can't have a one man. We can't have a one man going to China and getting good and then coming
Hello, good
back.
afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Hey guys, good afternoon. How you doing?
Afternoon,
Yes,
Mr.
kid.
Galvin.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm controversial boss too, eh?
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Go right ahead, man.
I just want to share with you guys the way, and I hope Mr. Lou is listening in, but the way, if we want to develop the sport and want to get the support, what Cuba is doing, we'll never, we're not Cuba. Two different political systems, the approach will always be different. So the question we must ask ourselves, and it's going to touch on a little that Patrick Blake touched on.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, what is it that you need to do? And this is where we need to take this conversation now. What is it that we need to do as a country to get the eyes of the government to get the support? And you know how you do that?
Yeah.
You do that by going in the hills and valleys. You're going into the schools, the communities. And when you hear I talk about a plan, what I would love to see happen in the sport is for the present administrator to do it a little different. If you continue to do it this way, you're going to have the whole set of players over and over representing. There's nobody new who will come in forward. So what we need to do is that we need to go, if you have a plan for the country for table tennis, right, where you're going to start at the with one thing that Notian did, which was good, there's a lot of coaches around, hundreds of them got ITA level 1, level 2, the amount of coaches we have. So go back into the primary schools and in the school and set up those systems that people get in, that is where the money will spend. In the meantime, I'm not saying to stop players from going abroad, because you need that exposure. But what you're creating now is a broader pool of players playing the sport. And in the television and in Instagram and whatever social media is highlighting, table tennis is doing this. The government got to be forced to look at table tennis to reckon. If you go to the government and say, hey, we need a center, we need a this, you're not gonna get. Government only pays attention when there's numbers.
Hold on. Keith.
Yes.
Please, Jamaican government, right? Not all governments. Yes, Jamaican government. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying though, I want us to focus a little on the how. So what I'm saying, if you can come up with a plan that you can show how you're gonna make this sport bigger and better and into communities, and show the plan where table tennis now become an alternative to those who want the natural talent to run and play the cricket and play the football. It's all about the whole marketing and branding and how you sell the sport. And then even we started with 12 boards and a little amount of school, but you're going to market that now to the public. You will get not only government support, but you will get private sector support. So the strategy is what I think the association need to spend a lot of time on. If you continue the way it is now, where the sport is not being played, nothing is played at UA anymore, nothing is played at Cars Camp, all those places that people used to go. You have a Samuel Lamont in Portland. Let him control 3 parish. You have a guy down in Montego Bay, Bruce Carmack and those guys, who are former players who have a passion for the sport. Give them some responsibility and organize the thing, and we produce more players. Then they feed into a national program now, where the national program will run like what we had with Winston Corns, 5 to 7 days a week. And then you will see something become of the sport. But if we continue to approach the sport the way we do now, right, we're not going to achieve anything. So I just want you guys to just speak a little about the bigger picture in terms of what does it take to broaden the pool, all right?
Yeah, with 100%. I agree with you, Keith. Because I'm a numbers person. And I'm an advocate for that. I always think that Lamont and these guys from the rural areas, they should be given some responsibility. They should be highlighted as well, because that kind of boosts a lot of the egos and so forth. Definitely, that's a good plan. And going into the prep schools, and we have about 100 certified coaches.
Well, it's one thing, I love to. May souls rest in peace. Well, one thing you have to give that association, a lot of teams may not have traveled and whatever,
But from what I read, there's a lot of coaches all over the place. What are they doing? Where are these coaches now?
Yes,
There's a lot of boards around where, even, you know, to start, I'm not saying that you have to buy 300, 400, 500 boards, you know. But I am saying they target about, in each parish, target about 4 primary schools and said, Samuel Lamont, you run those programs in the East. And if you come up with a good plan, you know, Jamaica is not so bad and people support good plan. So come up with a good plan and ask corporate Jamaican. But you see that plan where you're just going to talk about the national teams and all that. People not going to support that based on what is happening in Jamaica now. With crime and all that, show table tennis as that avenue that people can use and show some things that is happening in deep rural and deep inner city areas with the sport and highlight that, get videos and whatever and highlight that. Trust me. That I think is the way out to get support and get people on board and get the numbers. Once you get the numbers, then anything is straight. Okay.
Yes. I think, and you know, Andrew listened to the show, so I think Andrew is listening. So point taken. Man. Thank you, Key. That's a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, I was about to touch on that. That's what I was saying about an individual going away to get good. I think that we need it. One person alone can't be at the top here. We need each other to drive each other. We need a competitive environment. So, but it's basically the same thing. You need players from Portland. You need players from Manchester. You need players from, it can't be just centralized in Kingston here. So, yeah. So I was never in agreement to having spending all your resources on one player or 2 player. It's best to spread it out, and then from that we can pick and choose, and we can get sponsors from it. But
there's many angles to take it from.
Yes,
I said specifically we're looking at table tennis and getting table tennis, but I mean
sports overall.
Sports overall, and the point I was there has to be facilities for these sports.
Of course, without a doubt.
On a national level for all these volleyball, netball, every sport.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, I mean, it takes time.
Yeah.
And
so, Peter, what
you have to look on who we're competing with and what they're doing.
Yeah, man. As you say, it will not happen in a year.
It will happen in a year. We can get closer. We can try to develop it.
Yeah.
But everybody's looking at the end.
Yeah.
The desired result. How we get this world-class player. How we get here when all of this is not being fulfilled. We're not sticking to the plan. We don't write this out. We don't want to go through the preparation phase and put the time and invest it because it don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It takes years, 5 to 10 years. It takes generation after generation of players. And then you'll have, succession plan coming down.
Yeah.
Then you branch off on a system. We just want to boom.
Yeah.
All right, get that world-class player. All right, done with it.
No, it don't work like that. We have to we still have to go internationally, but we have to fix our house. We have to fix here locally, but we still must compete internationally because we do get things by doing that, and we can still export. And I'm of the view that my senior players should not be in Jamaica. My senior players should be playing professionally in a club,
but that's
earning
true for almost every country we played against.
For any sport.
I heard somebody say that the Trinidad team was a second string team when their lead player is playing in Sweden and is US based but training in Sweden. Their second player is Germany based and just returned to Trinidad to play the thing. The Haiti team their top player was French based and the rest of the team is training in Dominican Republic.
Peter, I don't want to cut you in. Yeah, I'm not talking about training.
Yeah.
Our senior players should be making money as professional athletes in a club.
Absolutely.
In a club.
Absolutely.
I'm not
disagreeing.
like that. I know the Trinidad guy, he plays professionally.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Afternoon, Primal.
Afternoon, calling one.
Should I say buenas tardes?
You speak in Spanish, mi amigo. Yeah.
Actually, we tried to do something that we were trying to get permission to broadcast from Cuba, but that was a bit ambitious.
Yeah, the nature of Cuba is different, but we're back and we're back in studio.
Funny, actually, just catching the tail end of the conversation, and it's actually I have a little controversial take on some of what we're discussing in terms of the general sports development.
Yeah.
And it's something that I mentioned to Kian before. This is school sports in Jamaica. To me, is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
I think the schools have been subsidizing and bailing out the sporting associations greatly. So we have been a lot of the success that we have with individuals in a lot of sports, despite the sporting associations, because the schools and their resources and so forth been bailing out the associations from doing what they do. And we're talking generally about table tennis, but even if you transpose that onto football, track and field, a lot of the success is not really, and it's not sustainable, because I talked to Kate about this already, especially schoolboy football. If you think about the development of a player, playing against subpar, no disrespect players for 3 months, that is not development, whereas if you had actual club systems that allowed more football and more development of football, i.e. not just focus on winning. Because winning is good, but winning is not always developmental. Because you can practice bad habits and win.
True.
At that level.
At the early stages, you can get away with a lot of bad habits and win.
And that is it. So we wonder why it is that we see people that in our excitement of school sports, we see them as generational talents, and by them reach 18, 19, it's done.
Yeah.
And to me, a lot of it is the school sports. It's a blessing and a curse, as I said. Because without it, our sporting system would probably be worse.
So, Colin, what are you saying? You're saying that that's the National Association for these individual sports, the schools are bailing them out? So you're saying that...
I think the schools, essentially that if it were not for the work that is happening at school level, then a lot of the success we have wouldn't be. But at the same time, to carry us to the farthest and most sustainable levels, we really cannot just be.
Oh, okay, so you're saying the national program basically just feed off what the school systems are doing.
A lot of
But instead of implementing a system where they go further or...
So, hold on, Colin, I hear you. Talk a little bit louder. Answer this question before you go on. A man who is running and say for a badminton association who is doing it voluntarily, he's not getting money. What would you say to somebody like that? He's not making any money from it. He's basically he's doing it on his free time.
That carries us back to government. Ultimately, these things flow from our ministry through SDF, through in-sport, etc. Sports development is supposed to be an overarching structure, but let me not. Alright, so clear. I tell the point that there's not a lot of money in badminton, but there are sports that a lot of money flow through in Jamaica that we don't see the return on investment. Why?
Flow through where? The association itself, the National Association for that particular sport.
Yeah, man, we have sports in Jamaica.
Okay. Like football, for example.
It's not enough. It's not enough. I'm somebody that believes that we have resources, but at the same time, it's over.
Okay.
Apply like schoolboy football. To me, as I said, 3 months of football, as by way of example, is not going to develop multiple players or a team, etc. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like some of our sporting associations are underachieved. But I take your point though that there are some that the odds are stacked heavily against it. I take that point.
So basically you're agreeing with us that the government needs to play a bigger role?
The issue is we have to be true to ourselves and prioritize, because ultimately we're still not. No, I'm not going to say.
Hold on. What you mean by true to ourselves? No, you mean true to in what sense? Like we must understand that the government cannot fund these things. That's what you mean?
Where resources are scarce, prioritization of everything. So what I mean by true to ourselves is that, and I think you guys have said it before, oftentimes Jamaica is not really a sports country.
Yeah, we are not a sports country.
Right. So then, if it is that sports is not our priority, sometimes we have to accept the result of that.
So we should not play sports then?
No.
Well, we should.
No.
So why do it half and half?
No.
I'm saying, and I think we're saying the same thing.
I get what you're saying.
If it is that we don't commit the requisite resources, and some of it is will and some of it is inability. But if we don't do that, then we really need to temper expectations.
Yeah, okay then. I mean, you're saying then we understand why we're not qualifying for the World Cup. We're not winning the Caribbean Table Tennis Championships.
Good point.
We're not winning the World Cup.
I wouldn't even put those on the same level. I understand why we're not qualifying for that. That is far more under-resourced than the JFA.
Okay.
Okay.
Better management, we could do better at qualifying for World Cups, but we definitely know why we're struggling to qualify for the Olympics and other sports.
Okay. I'll get what you're saying.
Yeah,
we're not a sporting country.
No, well, we've been saying that we have been saying that for quite some time now.
We love sports. We want to do good in sports, but
well, we have so much to say now, but we have to cut it short now because we come to the end of the program. Cutting one, thank you for calling. We'll come to the end of another sports talk. Ian, Peter.
The show went by quick, and I guess
we have more to say about this next week because this is a very touchy thing. But I'm open to this.
I wasn't quite done on the Rihanna topic, but
the two men on the money.
Yeah, next week 4 to 6 Primal Sports.
4 to 5:30.
5:30. I keep saying 6. Maybe we should go to 6. Yes, but yeah, Uncle Randy is up next.
All right, have a good one, people, and we're back. Like we never left before. Thank you, everybody.